how to get a business loan faster without taking up too much time, hassle-free, no problems. You are in and out like this. Or if it takes a little bit of time, the process is very smooth. The follow-ups, the open-mindedness, the giving feedback when it's asked for, when it is necessary to, and so much more, as in SBA updates, PPP, employee retention tax credits, grants, everything circulating around that. But before I get into things, my name is Michael with Viral Funding Solutions. I'm an expert business loan broker. Happy Friday. Happy to have you here today. And if you're watching, please give me a hashtag live in the comments. Appreciate you. Thank you. Are not exactly ready to get business funding, yet they go and apply. So that's the first part I want to begin with. And then the second part I'm going to leave you with is like a chapter of results here. I'm going to get into why does it take you so long? Why does it maybe take me a little bit of time? And so forth. Now, the first part is understanding if you're ready to apply. Are you an applicant who looks attractive with your looks? No, I'm kidding. Not with your facial expressions or your physique or anything like that, but more so your fundability details. And that means your time in business, FICO, revenue per month, sales, annual gross revenue / sales. Perhaps it's profitability if you have to look that far, tax returns, personal and business, year-to-date financials, and a lot of things that are on the board I won't jump into right now. Which, by the way, if you do need help with all of this, look in the bio for all help. You can get started with the questionnaire form. That's where I would begin. There are a lot of resources. And then in the description as well, you can see all the information. Now, I'll get to the comments in a moment, and I'll try to say it as I go along. If you're not ready to apply, what are you applying for? Oh, I'll get to that in a bit, and I'll address it. Hopefully it's not coming from me. And if it is from me, it isn't like I'm harassing or I never heckle or harass anybody. I never pressure. It's just a part of like my email sequence. So I tell people sometimes they'll email me back. I'll just say, you can ignore that and we'll follow along this email thread or do this different. But I'll address that. So if you're not ready to apply right now, why are you even applying? I'll get to you in a second with that. I have a lot of information. You have to understand what are the steps that are going to make me an attractive client to the lender, to me, to the underwriters, because I pre-underwrite files all of the time. And so I have this free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist along with the questionnaire form you can fill out or separate, but I would do the questionnaire. And you can pick this up and you'll be shown by myself. I'm an expert. I've received funding myself. I know the struggles. And what it actually takes, there's a lot of bonus material in that document. So make sure you look at it when you pick it up and don't just let it sit there in the email or wherever it's collecting dust. But a lot of business owners then, they take the next step, whether you're ready or not. Now they're in the application process. They have to upload statements or they send me the statements directly. There's either way that it can work. Like I can see them, we can see them in the back portal. I can send them directly to the lender in a different way. So it just depends on what type of application, what type of lender. So there's digital applications, there's hard PDFs, it can be and or. A lot of the times nowadays it's digital because it's these fintech companies. And then the way that the lenders require it, it'd be best formatted that way for the digital age. But if you're asked to submit low documentation, not even talking about middle or even higher documentation, just the lowest, 3 months of bank statements, maybe credit card reports, credit card statements, if applicable. If you don't have them, it's okay. 3 months of bank statements, a voided check, copy of your driver's license. That's all we were asking for. Now, you may not have them on hand, yet you'll start the application, yet you'll complete and sign, but you didn't submit all the docs. You may maybe not even be able to get to the signature yet, or you will. But we are still needing your August bank statements. It's September now. You haven't submitted those. Maybe you submitted the month-to-date transaction report as we're flipping over to a new month or up to September at the moment. But we need your August month and then the 2 months prior to that. And then that's it. However, a lot of individuals, they drag out the process. And keep in mind, we haven't even gone to an offer yet. So if you're that individual who's going to waste energy and time with yourself, they stop moving forward. And so when I get business owners who are going to be very energy and time ineffective, I can't work with you. that energy and time needs to be devoted into somebody who is actually serious about getting the best lender or lenders to look at their file. One lender, multiple lenders, but it isn't like we're dispersing your information everywhere and anywhere. Your privacy is protected, especially with me, who I know. I work with the best lenders, team of underwriters. And so what you need to be careful about, and I'll address that issue, is don't just apply everywhere and everywhere. I just made a video recently on EIDL updates along with the documentation that will be required. So if you guys are wondering what that is, I'll leave it in the bio or I'll leave it in the description more so if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as all other content if you guys want to learn more about this. Be very careful about who you go to and you start an application with. You're not the only one. I spoke to a lot of business owners this week, whether it was on a phone call, an email, a text, direct messenger. They all tell me the same thing. Even people who haven't even applied. This is the first time getting a bit. I had an individual who's doing 6 figures. Guess what? He told me multiple companies started to contact them. How? He hadn't even applied. Nothing. But guess what? There are things called trigger leads. And not only trigger leads, there's a few other things where there's data stored out there on the web from the credit bureaus that they send out. Subject. It's a whole other thing of its own. And I can go deeper into this. But I already spoke about that the other day. So I'm going to go into time wasting, how to get a business loan without time wasting, and being energy and time effective, and getting the most in and out, input, output. When you're in the process of getting funded, I'm not going to be there to just waste my energy and my time. I have people right now who, hey, they tell me one thing and they do another. I'll submit to you my statements and I'll send them over to you right away. If you know what, if you send me that documentation, I'll send it right over to you. You think I fall for that crap? No. Now, there's a lot of you who are truthful, but at the same time, my guard is up no matter what. You think you can trust me? You're asking that? I'm asking if I can even trust you. You're less trustable than trusting me. I'm not saying you specifically, but when we look at the statistics and we look at the data, when I'm speaking with business owners, a lot of the cases is that a business owner just gets busy. They get tied away in something else. They say they'll do something, but they don't do it. And then days go by, which looks even worse on you. I'm sorry, but it just looks bad on you. But if you're going to say you're going to do something, don't even say it to begin. Don't even tell yourself up here. If you don't say it like this, don't do this. You're damaging yourself. You're hurting yourself. It's a character flaw. What it all comes down to, the root of the cause, it's character. So the symptoms, what are causing these problems? You're busy, all these external reasons, but internally you have a character flaw or flaws. Let's be very honest. And this is tough love. This is not aggressiveness. This is not negativity. For those of you who have been watching me for some time, I'm not like that. You need to hear the truth. You need some tough love because what you're doing is actually hurting yourself. You're impatient. You say you get tied up and get too busy. I didn't have time to look over this. I didn't have time to do that. I didn't have time to submit my documents. I didn't have time to look over the offer. Just be quiet, please. Just don't even, it's one thing to say it once. It's one thing to do that, and it's another thing to say it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Nobody has that energy and time for you. Go spend that with somebody who you think will help you. Go apply to an online marketplace or this direct lender you feel is best, which it won't usually work out. You don't have all the full details. You don't know how they work, do you? Do you have a partnership with me? No, because there's a lot more flexibility with me. There's a lot more that opens up the doors. Like a guy who received recently about $40,000, we got him approved for $100,000 with a different lender. How did that happen? Because of my connections, because of my partnership, my personal and business partnership with my lender or lenders, my team of underwriters or underwriter. This goes farther beyond just finding an ad online. I found this company. Oh, I saw a display ad online. And then I found a Google search, or I did this from a friend that told me to do this. And then now those people are coming to me to verify their offer. And I'm going to be genuine. I'm not going to be ingenuous. I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay, that makes sense. Go there. You already have a partnership with them. Pay this off completely. Don't take a second or third position. Pay this off. Come here. Then I can move you up a level. And there's more flexibility when you come through me because there's a lot of more benefits that arise from that. So I could go even deeper, but I want to end it with this. You get a business loan the fastest way, energy and time saving, by not beating around the bush, by doing 2 things: keeping an open mind, and 2, allowing to give me feedback. If I ask of you something, will you be there for me like I have been there for you along the way, personally, first and foremost? When you connect with me, it's on a human level. It's on a way that we're on the same wavelength, the same frequency, the same electrons, orbital sphere. How much more scientific do you want me to get? Because I can. I studied chemistry. I studied the businesses in college, university. So what you have to get out of this is, do I need to work on a character flaw or flaws that I have? Me, I've been there. I know how difficult it is. When I first got started in my business, guess what? I was looking for a way to generate more money. Money wasn't my sole purpose and my drive. I was stuck in the 9-to-5 position in a logistics role and underneath a supervisor who I couldn't even take over his position because this old man would never retire. He was an old engineer, ex-engineer, went into this budgeting position, data, businesses, ordering, and a lot of stuff that I was supposed to be more hands-on on. And I was to some degree, but I needed that role. Never retired. I only was under-delivered, undervalued, underappreciated. Well, people would say, you were appreciated, but to what? To an extent, you can only go so far on an emotional level, and I'm invested in that 110%. But you have to back that up with more. And so when I built enough time and experience, that's why I stuck in that position for that. And this was, I had worked before, went back to school, and then went into the workforce again right after. And then I worked for this company for about 2 to 3 years, and I was working hard physically, and I was working hard mentally. And at the time, I was in my younger 20s, and or younger, kind of middle, but more younger. And I'm not physically a physique gifted person, so I just was always hardworking, and I was always cerebral about everything and meticulous. And so even after school, I had taken that role just so I can gain more time, and then moved up. But it wasn't allowing me to move up. Pay wasn't allowing me to move up. And the company was going down under. So me working hard on the computer, doing all these budgets and analysis, Excel spreadsheets when I was having the time, and I had to be more hands-on. I was ready for that next role. Like I wouldn't retire and some other things and transitions. And so picking up boxes, I was forklift certified to move things. It wasn't heavy work. It was very light. There was really like no work. So I was always on the computer ordering and doing other things until it picked up a little bit. And that's when I decided, maybe I don't want to be in this role because I saw potential to move up. Now, I had worked in previous different roles at the time. Now, away from that, my drive was to get into business so that I can provide more for my family. I was tired of being on food stamps. I've been there. I didn't have to, but I've been there. And I've been very fortunate enough to be very experienced in my younger 20s working in different job roles, moving up different job roles, and working manufacturing. I did parts of construction. I did warehousing. I did ramp agent work. I've done inventory, one of my roles in logistics, and a couple of them. And as you know this, it's not like it's not stable. I was stable. It's just you realize you don't want to keep working these positions. You're tired of working that position. You're meant for more, and you're understanding that there's better out there. How to move up. You don't want to be stuck. So there's the risk of being in a position. It's a really high risk. You have to be careful. You have to look out for yourself. So this happens. And so that's when I kind of started to realize in one of my very last roles, I needed to do something different. Am I going to go back to school to finish at least half a year to get something different? Or am I going to go back and get more certifications? Because I'm already certified, not only forklift, but a confined space, and I have quite a few more. So I'm like, what do I need more? Do I go into like a trucking field, or do I go back? Do I go into banking again? Like, there's these decisions that you have to make, and it's like, okay, well, I decided I'll work, and I'll try to find a way to make passive income. That's how I got into digital marketing, and then I got into affiliate marketing and a few other components. But that's a different time. That's a story for a different time. And then that led me down the path after I built a couple of my agency, and then I built a couple affiliate marketing / e-commerce type of businesses. And it's a hybrid. And then I went into becoming a business loan broker. And then that became my sole focus. This is what I wanted to do for a very long time. And so finally got into it. And I still have those other ones running for me. So if that speaks to anything, it should speak to, I'm not here to waste energy and time. I'm not just I'm not a receptionist. I'm a business loan broker. I'm not the information guy. I'm the information and business loan broker. I verify the documents. I pre-underwrite a file. I told a guy today who's in e-commerce, just started making sales in August for about a couple of weeks. Needs funding. He's doing about $27,000 a month. You don't think I wanted to get him a cash advance? That would be the way to go. Not a loan, not a business loan, a cash advance. Because he doesn't have enough time in business. He has well above 4+ months in business because he started his entity around February. But he doesn't have at least 3 consecutive months of business bank statements to get him approved for funding with our private lender or lenders. So what did I do? I showed him 2 different options he could take. The personal loan, okay, he hasn't been generating revenue, he's been unemployed. That won't work. Honestly, won't work really well. Taxes won't show up good. And then secondly, he has the credit line hybrid program. I just spoke with him like 20 minutes ago. And I spoke with my internal team because they needed to hear something from me. Hey, this is what you'll do. Here's the link. Get started. This is what I was doing. Do this. Boom. You'll be contacted by this person on my team. Boom, boom, boom. We'll follow up from there. You can move forward up levels. Done. Period. That's an action taker, not an action preserver. That's a person who I'm willing to go the distance with because they show the commitment to being responsive, 1. And then 2, the commitment to taking action. For those of you out there, you're running fearful like a chicken with its head cut off. Literally, I'm being honest. This is the truth. I have business owners out there consecutively do it over and over. It's like they're on a hamster wheel. And the thing I hate the most is when people tell me, yeah, if you send that over to me, I'll send you the documents here soon. Or I'll send them to you today. People do that. It's worse that you gave me a time. Don't do that. It's okay. I'll check up with you from time to time. I won't follow up with you like every single day, like following you everywhere. But do not waste my energy and time. Period. If somebody gives me something like but you don't, no, stop right there. I'll stop you right there. You're making excuses. You think a CEO has the time to hear your BS excuses? No. So treat this as that is, because I am the CEO of my own companies. This is my own with Viral Funding Solutions. I have the best lenders that I partnered up with. I've fished out those people who have been emailing you time and time again. I've fished that out. See, there is the comparative advantage. There is the unique selling proposition. Are you willing to go the distance with somebody who has the lenders who won't just sell your information or won't go find it with the credit bureaus because they're more than happy to send it out? Or your information is dispersed into an Excel spreadsheet, into a portal? How do you think those people out there keep getting a hold of you? Do I do anything? No. I don't affiliate with any of that crap. Who has time for that? Only people who have character flaws. People who don't respect themselves do that. People who are only out there to get money. I'm not in this for the money. Now, it is a business. However, I'm in this for the value. If that happens as a result, it's okay. But where I get the most fulfillment is not my money, not what can allow me to do this. Yes, money to a degree allows more freedom. But for me, I love the interaction. It's not always a phone call. It's an email, it's a text. Hi, Michael, you were able to help me. Yesterday, a lady. Michael, my account is locked with Experian. It's been fished out to the dark web. She literally told me this. I felt so bad because if she would have met me before, this would have never have happened. And it's more so in the lending space than it is with any other kind of industry. The lending space is the most notorious for this. And she told me, what should I do? And I told her, she reached out to me the same day I had a business owner who had the same problem. He had locked it on purpose, obviously, but for this one. And I had to get a hold of him. We had to readjust his offer. He got a daily repayment. He got about $35K or so. And this was a daily repayment. Didn't want the daily. He wanted weekly. He wasn't going to get monthly. This just doesn't work for him. That industry and the amount he's doing and what he's doing, average daily bank balances, forget about that. You have to be more stable, have more fleets, and it goes a lot in today's market. And so the only way I worked out a miracle, let's just put it this way. No other person, because of me, I worked out a miracle with them. Literally, this was a miracle because I know the lender. It's simple as that. You think you would have gone the same thing somewhere else, but it doesn't work that way. So what I did, I reached back out to him. Hey, very quickly, and I move like this. If you want somebody who's gonna move like that, boom, 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 done. Text, boom, boom, email, done. Text, boom, 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 done. I know when to speed up. I know when to slow down. And so what I did is I got the information from my lender. Hey, have him unlock his Experian account so we can look at in full depth his credit. That was the issue. Hey, can you please unlock your Experian credit so we can look deeper and try to get you a weekly repayment just to see what the credit score and the reports are showing us? And sometimes I ask for this in the beginning. Sometimes it'll be asked for in the process, or it doesn't have to be asked for at all. But that's what happened. That's the reality. He unlocked it, and guess what? By a miracle. And it still was a little bit of a stretch. Not that he had to have only a 600 plus FICO, but his industry, trucking is one of them. Getting a monthly repayment in trucking, like you have to be like 30 trucks, 40 trucks, or even less in, and you have to be stable cash flow wise, preferably like 6 figures, not even 50,000 a month in revenue. That's one industry. So we were able to get him a weekly repayment. I worked my magic. And so give credit to where credit is due, and I give it to my lender, and I give it to my team too as well, who was also operating in that. But I dove in, and if I wouldn't have asked that question, I wouldn't have been able to get hold of the lender to be able to then give me that feedback. So don't just go into an application thinking you're just going to have your credit unlocked or locked, one or more. Experian, usually, when we go in FICO 8, FICO 9. A lot of different things there. So that was where that could have been avoided. So what I told the other person, I exactly had the same situation today. I said, make sure you unlock your account first and foremost, because no lender is going to give you any kind of money. Or two, they will give you something. It just won't be up to what you want. Maybe you won't get the most, but generally speaking, maybe it's the type of repayment. It could be the rate too, because it's a credit eligibility thing, and ineligibility thing, excuse me. But I told her, hey, but I know your thought process because I've been in your shoes. So before you even unlock your Experian credit, here's my questionnaire form. What you want to do is fill that out, and then I will analyze it, evaluate it, and give you a proper response back via email on your best funding option and options, very thoroughly broken down. It'll be a long email, like today. The guy told me there's a lot of stuff there, and I told him why that's the case, and I even put it in the email. It's better for you to see everything than not. Wouldn't you rather have a whole big email or a document, whether you qualify for all these options or not, and you see it and you go, damn, like, this guy really does know what he's doing, or two, he really does care about me. And that's what I do. I show people what they can qualify for now and what they can qualify for later, or what they can't right now, what they can later, and what they have to do to readjust. Now, that's on your part. I took the horse to drink the water. Are you going to drink it? If you're going to take action, I'm going to go the whole distance with you. Now, so that person, I told them, I know your thought process. So I didn't say that, but I know how you think about these things. You one-on-one, fill out my questionnaire, I'll get in touch with you. Boom. When you find the right lender or lenders, or how we structure this, there's usually an application. Start the application. But before you even start the app, before you even go and think about starting the application, or however we do this, what I want you to do is finally unlock your credit. Because now you have an idea of what you should be doing, right? Doesn't that make more sense? Well, why didn't I unfreeze it in the beginning? Or why didn't I unlock it in the beginning, Michael? Well, because I know you. You might take more time to look this through, and then I'm busy, and then another excuse maybe jumps on top of that. Or perhaps it's none of that, and you're just still looking around and doing this and that. So a day to maybe even just 5 hours go by, you have your Experian unlocked. For what? I'd rather have you unlock it right then and there. It's immediate. And then you get into the application. No time wasted. And if you don't want your information dispersed out there, and sent out to the dark web again, and how it's supposed to be framed, then let me take care of you. Here's a lender of mine that just emailed me. So I'll open it up to comments. I could go even deeper into this subject. Like literally, I can go even deeper into energy and time efficiency. But what you should get out of this, do not waste energy and time with me. Do it for yourself. It's okay. In my blog posts, I'll review different types of lenders and companies out there, and I'll even say how much does it cost. I'll tell you, there's no application fees, there's no hidden cost, da 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 da. And I'll even say the only thing you're wasting how much it'll cost you is your energy and your time. So if you feel like you don't get approved for this or you're not going to qualify, what the heck are you doing? Or you feel like you're going to waste my energy and my time. Like I have business owners all the time, dude. I don't have that. Please go away. Like I don't mind hearing you out. That's not what I'm saying. I'll always be there for you. But hey, if you're not serious, just please go away. You say one thing, you do another, you're terrible at this. And it's not, at that part, like I said, it's not a business issue usually. It's more of a character issue. I care more about who you are. I care about your business, but I care about who's the person operating that business. I can walk into a business right now and I can understand, I can read somebody without saying a word or them saying anything back to me. And I know who they are as a human just by seeing that. Their interaction with their consumers, their interaction with their staff. And when I finally get to sit down and communicate with that individual or individuals, more partner ownership, etc. Who are you? You're asking that of me. You can trust me 110%. You can ask the people that I've already worked with how punctual I am. Like this. And if you're one individual recently who, I'll say this, who has started a consultation, usually it's direct messenger to begin with, sometimes it's a phone call. I will get back to some of you because I can't always get access and remind you that I can't make the appointment, so we have to reschedule. There have been cases like that a little bit recently, so I'll be honest. But it happens. Like with someone like myself who's so busy and productive at what I'm doing, sometimes I have to readjust my schedule. A client has to take up an extra 5 to 10 minutes of my time being focused on this, so I couldn't get back to my other type of work. And so it'll happen from time to time. It's not like I'm not avoiding anybody. A person the other day on my live, I went live yesterday. Why are you he used the word, I think, refusing. When I saw that, I didn't like what was being said. They have a different context or connotation of what's happening. I'm not refusing. I'm not ignoring anybody. This is the stuff that happens in cases. I have to readjust. I can't get back to you when you expect me to get back to you in the next minute. But when I get back to you, you better be ready. If you're not ready, get out. It's as simple as that. Why it has to be more complicated? Why should I have to go an extra mile for you when you're not willing to give your input? You're not willing to put your foot forward. You only put one foot forward, the other one's just stepping back. It's okay, but when you fully commit to something, just know I will take care of you. I'm sitting next to you. You're at my desk. This is me at my desk. I'm at my younger brother's house watching his dog. You're right here. You're not across the table. You're right here. I have my hand over your shoulder. Hey, man. Hi, lady. How are you doing today? Do you have anything planned out for the weekend? I'm an introvert, so with me, it's so much easier than with anybody else. And so I know my stuff too, by the way. So it's not like because I speak less doesn't mean anything. You guys hear those general salespeople who like ramble, like they say they're doing this. They get on a topic, right? I won't get into that, but they get into a topic and then they go off like on a tangent, or they like mix their words up, or they say like the same thing 3, 4, 5 times over again. Maybe they speed talk. I don't speed talk. I'm just saying that to raise my tonality and to get something across to you. And so it's not like I'm saying I dislike those individuals. It's just how it comes off. Do you want to speak with somebody who's doing that, or do you want to speak with somebody who's very tranquil and just literally like, Ace Ventura when he got shot with the poison dart, I think? Or the tranquilizer when he was running around through the jungle or the woods. Just kind of like slowly. I'm not slow, but it's like with me, pace yourself. I'm not going to like pressure you to do anything. Everybody, when they come to me, they think that it's going to, when the first time they see me, they go, oh, no. But it takes like a minute, and then they're like, oh, okay. And honestly, that's how it is working with me. It's very simple. So I'll leave this open to anything. Let me see over here. You haven't seen any emails, but you'll do whatever you need to get it done. Appreciate you. Thank you. And I appreciate you for giving me the 100%. You and I both are on the same page. I can just sense that from you just from saying that. But again, you have to understand that I have to keep my guard up. You do too. When it comes to, one thing said, another thing is done. I'm a person who says, okay, what kind of action do you take? I'm not a, and I know digital marketing. I know marketing because I developed those skill sets, but I'm a broker. So what I bring to the table is a lot superior than what you're going to see out there. And so what happens is people will just, this sounds good to him. I want to tell him what he needs to hear. So it's so dumb. And so I'd rather somebody be honest with me, like the guy the other day. I appreciate you. He said these kind of things. I appreciate you, Michael, because you don't know how many emails that I'm getting. And it's finally refreshing to hear from somebody who knows who knows what they're doing, who won't ever pressure me, who won't ever tell me that I'm not worth getting something, but he'll work with me to push up. Yeah, and that's the majority of your reasoning, right? I mean, there's subsets to it, but like I mentioned in a way, it disgusts me. Like I even get them. Like I can go through my other. I have like 5, 6 different emails. I get more than that, but I separate them for different purposes, and I can go through one of them. Oh my god, no, I don't want one. I've already received funding before in the past. I don't need funding right now, and I wouldn't even get it through you. I would get it through this person. I would get it through this entity, this lender, and you have to be careful because that's how they get you. That's how they get you. I'm not that person. With me, you're safe and secure. Promise. And I'm gonna like do that. The way I treat people, I treat you as if you were my immediate family. That's who you guys really are. It's not. You're not another number. You're not an insurance company number, a mortgage number. When you go to a bank, they think they know you because you've been banking with them. Yeah, come on back. But they can't even remember you by your name. Those people walk in, like, for me, this is my business. They don't operate that business unless they're the CEO. I mean, you have to question them too if they understand you. And you should. You could still vet me as well. And feel free to ask me questions, hard questions. That's what a guy did the other day on a phone call. I'm sure he wanted to test what I know and what I was going to give him an answer back on. I know my stuff. I'm not like reading a teleprompter and like making sure we could, like when you go into a test sometimes. I know you probably did this. You are in a math test and you're like just trying to remember, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? You know exactly how to, but you're like memorizing every word and the description of that math problem. You're like, this is what's going to stand out to me. There's a few different things. And I studied hard in college. Like when I tell people this, and I said this the other day, I will outwork you. Simple. Like I'm not genetically gifted. I just had 3 donuts last night. I went to Angel's Donuts. I'm not sure if you guys have one. It was perfect. Had the maple bar. I had a blueberry fritter. Not the whole thing. I had like a third of each. I said if I can't have all of it on one, I'll try just have like a third of each. And then I gave some to my family. My younger brother's not in town, and his spouse, so I couldn't give them any. But I had like the blueberry fritter parts of it. I had the whole maple bar after having parts of the other ones. And then I had like a banana maple bar thing. I was like, oh my God. And then there was a blueberry filled donut. I might even have that later tonight. But I'm going to go exercise because right now it's saying I'm hungry. But later on it'll be saying feed me donuts. Appreciate you. Thank you. Sincerely. But yeah, I'll take care of you. And if you guys have questions to who I work with, if you are watching me for the first time, I work with all. Like right now, I just told you I had to shut down. He's technically a startup, but he's going through the credit line hybrid like that. He even took initiative. I said on a text message, he said, I left Jimmy a voicemail who I'm connecting him with, and we all work together because he needs to work and operate that section. Great job on taking initiative. Exclamation point. That shows me a lot. That shows me what you have in here. That shows me what you have up there. I don't care about physique. I don't care about those little parts. I care about your spirituality. I care about what you have up here. I care about what you have when you're thinking. This is what I mean by thinking. Not in a bad way. I'm saying, how do you think? How do you process? How do you work when you're alone? How do you think? How do you dilute your thoughts? And so for me, it's all about character. I didn't develop it in one day. I have to work at it every day. And guess what drives me? I'll say it in a physical component. And I was in a mastermind kind of saying this to a lot of people. Because there are people out there who will look up to me in what I do. I don't see myself as I see myself as an everyday person. You see me here, but if you were to be around me in my personal life, you would see really that I'm not a talker. But this gives you the most amount of value, so I understand that. And I blog more than anything. My video channel, YouTube channel. It's one of the fastest growing YouTube channels, by the way. I know, shameless plug, but I want to be honest, and that speaks to volume about the content that I create. Every single day I'll release something, or about every other day or so right now. That's the rate that I'm producing. And I just went live yesterday on the EIDL deferments, which I'll speak about a little bit here. Sorry, an update. But I care about what happens is on a physical level, like what helps your self-esteem, what helps you think more clearly. And what I love the most is when I get out there and I go for a walk or I go out for a jog, I'll time myself. Maybe it's lifting weights, but more so when you're going out and doing fitness workouts, when you're doing a little bit of cardio. Because you get back, whether you're going to start your day with work or you're done and you're just recovering, you're using that as a recovery method. It's such a relieving thing. Now, the days where I'm not doing this on video or creating video content and I go do those things, I feel more refreshed because I'm not tired from doing this cerebrally. When I have all of this thoughts passing through very fluid, it feels more liberating. But those are the things that drive you on a physical level to continue to push yourself. And don't take working out for granted. You don't have to work out hard. I'm not saying you gotta lift 300,000 pounds and you gotta become the Roman Reigns from WWE, right? Or SmackDown, Raw. I don't know which one it is anymore. But you don't have to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, is what I was trying to say. And eat up all these carbs, have a cheat day like this, and hit the gym as hard as they do. But spend a little bit of time, because you underestimate how much your physicality makes a difference up here. To you, it shouldn't be, if you look good, that's part of it. That comes with this. For me, it's this first. This and this. This is last. If I can have my body look a little bit better, okay. But for me, it's this. People don't understand this from me. They don't understand how penetrating it is. Like when people try to get to me, nothing gets to me. And it's not like people attack me about anything. It's just, I know how to reroute. I know how to just say, okay, next. Something happened, okay, next. Or I visit that and I think, okay, what can I do differently? If anything. So it's more about working up here. And it does do that for you. One other thing before I get going. If you're getting value out of this content, I would greatly appreciate you if you were to share it with others. It can be a complete stranger, a friend, or a family member. But you know that at the end of the day, you can rest your head on your pillow, as so they can. Close their eyes nice and slowly. Their thoughts put together subconsciously, unconsciously. Or consciously, subconsciously, I should say. I don't want somebody to be unconscious. They wake up in the morning, bright and early day. Sun are already shining through the window if it is already open with the blinds. And they feel more refreshed than ever. Their thoughts are put together. Their mindset. They're not thinking negatively. They're not like, oh, I gotta go look at all these emails today and I gotta find out which loan I gotta take out and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, I heard about this lender, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask Michael. I don't even know who this guy is and he's just trying to get a hold of me. It is super stressful because I've worked up to this where literally you guys don't see what happens on my back end. I filtered out all the faulty lenders to work only with the best. A, B, C, D plus tier lenders from a lot of different industries. And they're the best of the best. and they will give you the best. And we're going to be extremely competitive to get you that. And above all that, what I love solving in this industry is big problems. And one of those problems that may not seem so gargantuan to myself anymore, but it may be to you. When you're getting, for example, you want a monthly repayment. Everybody wants, I want a longer term. And let me know in the comments, what industry are you in? What, if any, have you had a business loan in advance, etc.? What have you tried, haven't tried, what's worked, what hasn't? I get a lot of business owners who question if they're even doing what they should be doing right. Are you going down the right path? Most likely not. Have you found the right lender or lenders? Probably not. Do I have the best terms? Do I have the lowest rate? It's always the same thing. Is it? Yeah, now it depends on how much of an issue, because we can be flexible, depends on what you're generating with revenue and depends on what you're doing in sales, average daily sales, monthly sales, average daily bank balance though above everything is it. That's like the determining factor. Like somebody who's just recently, they're telling me they're doing like 60,000, but they only keep 1,000. If you're underneath 1,000, you're pretty much negative. A lot of lenders want to see 1,000 and above, if not 1,500, and it's also industry specific. So I go to one lender, they'll say, okay, I want 1,500. They need 5,000 on average. Okay, this is the best lender. What is it? A, B, C tier lender now? Yeah, this is the best one. So yeah, cash flow, you're not the only one. This is like, I thought it would have been a bit different, and it did. There was a little period after we were getting out of COVID where people were jumping up. It's kind of like the EIDL loan. You know, people finally found out, this is what happened. It went like this. For a month or two. I know it very well. Because I'm in the trenches every day. This is my livelihood. I have my other businesses, but I know my stuff. So if you want to question it, feel free. But if you don't want to waste that energy and time doing it, just confide in me. Trust me. I got you. And so that's what you have to also be careful about, is going too low, not having enough cash flow circulating in your business without having to depend on getting funding. Even getting credit cards. Like if you can cash flow positive, you can circulate. That's how the big businesses like Amazon, yeah, they may take on a lot of credit and that's how they can actually grow, expand, scale. But when you're talking about how is your business cash flowing, how are you reinvesting your money? Are you spending too much time on product development? Maybe you're spending too much time on fabrication, different machines, different CNC machines out there. My dad's a manufacturer. He's a machinist. He started there, and now he's a CNC machinist. So I saw what he was doing when I was in my younger 20s. Like I said, I got into the manufacturing field after I got away from construction when I worked with my uncle. And I got into the aerospace field. I was a headerman for a little bit of time. And there was a lot of scrutiny there with people being young. And so I had to go my own way. I had to get out of that, and for good reasons. And it just was very icky and very, it wasn't like the work was physically demanding or anything like that, because I was stationary a lot of the times on my feet. But it just wasn't the right environment for me. All right? I'm not saying it can't be for you, but I've worked that field. I know how it is. I was great, had a great relationship personally and in business with the CEO, his son. And I had no problems. It just was a lot of scrutiny in the company, a lot of people who were not willing to give up their roles, and the day-to-day interactions were okay. They were fun at the time when I was going through that, but it just wasn't. I knew I was destined for more. Let's just say that. I'm not better than anybody, but I knew there was more. And when you know that, and I was reading blueprints, I was reading the dice, I was reading the other components of the drilling and a few other things, but anyways, that was a past life that I was in. And if you're in welding and fabrication, right, I remember this. And I have a cousin who's in welding. That's what he's focused on. I see him all the time. His name is Ivan. But yeah, I get the industry. No loans. You lease to own equipment. Got it. One lease complete, right? 18 months on the other. Got it. Getting customers to pay on time and cover payroll every week. How do you figure out what the right amount to ask for is? Good question. So let me back up first to the beginning. I like that you are in welding and fabrication. That's an industry that I work with. One of my very first clients, I wouldn't say the very first, one of the very first was actually like kind of like a vending machine client who didn't know any better. Oh my God, was like after I told him something, and I didn't know when I was getting started in this as well, like what I could and shouldn't tell him. So he didn't know. It was part of me not telling him one thing, but I know this field so well now that it's normally not me. It's usually a lot of the times what's happening over here on your end. But welding and fabrication, great field to work in. There's definitely a huge need there for a lot of supplies and equipment, different types of builds, different types of contracts, different types of partnerships, projects that maybe not happen right now, but you're getting ready for in the future. I have a lot of business owners like that. Even business owners who talk, but they can't walk the talk. And so when that happens, I just get out. Literally, like I'll be here for you, but right now, get out. You say one thing, you do another. I'm not dealing with your character. Get out of my way. Go fix that first. Come back. I'll give you some material if you want to work on yourself. In a nice way. I'm not saying this to be negative. This is, hey, hearing it from a business owner / entrepreneur. And so if you don't want to do that, you just want to be a business owner and hide in your shell and only come out and be a snapping turtle. You know, the snapping turtles. Go do that to someone else, not with me. And so over here, yeah, you have no loans, which is actually really good, especially when you're leasing to own on equipment, because that'll show up if you already had another business loan out there. Specifically equipment financing traditionally, equipment leasing, leasing to own, lease sales back, all these different options where you can give up equipment, get equipment, equivalent or not. But one lease is complete, so that's an amazing thing. And then the 18 months for the other, which is good. Out of how many is another question. And then getting customers to pay on time and cover payroll every week. Whether let me address that. Whether you do that or not, and this is for everybody here watching. Maybe there's people who come in here and they go, "I didn't like what he had to say. It doesn't apply to me," and then they go cry home. Yeah, go cry me a river. You're not supportive of my channel. You just come in here to look for maybe some part of it, and then you head out. The ones who stick around are the ones who get the best education and actually are following through, and they don't come back and complain. Well, Michael, you didn't do it. And so getting customers to pay you on time and cover payroll every week. Now that's a problem in today's economy. You're not the only business owner. It's not the only business that I see troubles with. I see it a lot in like salon right now is huge. Construction, definitely like the biggest issue with payroll. A guy defaulted recently, but you get them to pay you much faster when they pay you back on different terms. You get them to pay you back right away. You don't invoice them to pay you back on 30 to 60 to 90 days. You set up a different payment plan. You take different kinds of transactions. So you're not expected to have some kind of a deposit in the next week from a vendor or this person. It's as simple as that. You change the contract. You change the agreement. But my question is to you, will you be able to do that? Will you be able to, one, communicate that? Will you be able to, two, then take that action? Because if it is a problem to you, and if it's a huge problem, you will take it. And if it isn't, if it's a minor issue above this 10 other things I need to get done with, or it's the smallest of the smallest, guess what? That's talking about 2 to 3 months, you're going to probably be in the same position. So let me come back to this. So the right amount that you ask for in terms of funding, right? I love that question. I get it a lot. It hasn't been happening as frequent. A lot of people can just tell me what they want. So you just have to understand, like, for one, with payroll, understand it's simple. Like, payroll is probably the easiest one to like identify. It's the ones where you're asking for growth and expansion funding, where you have to have better projection value. You have to understand what you're budgeting already into different sectors of your business. And I do this all the time with my own. I go into businesses. I worked budget roles. I worked in a part like that digital marketing a little bit. And I understood how they're allocating their funds. What kind of products is this company selling? How much should they be selling to this one customer? They are retaining that customer. Keep allowing that customer to come back. Give them more so they can go have more value, but also have higher tier products. So it's more of a case of what phase of the process are you in? Like, it's not business operational, just excluding, or it may be a part of it, but it's also growth and expansion. So like when I go into my boardroom, or I sit down and I look at my board, or I look at my laptop and I see everything and I think I need to allocate 5,000 here, my ads, every $1 right now I'm putting in, I'm getting $3 out. What do I got to do? I got to double down. So I'm going to iterate, I'm going to create a derivative of it, but it's going to be in the same parallel. Now, what I'm doing is I'm probably creating another ad and I'm split testing, A/B testing that. And then I'm getting $1 in and I'm putting $4 out. This other ad is running in and it's a different campaign now. So I'm putting $1 in, I'm getting $2 out, but it's a bit different. And so now I'm looking at it and saying, wow. So I'm putting, like, this is not 1 to 3, but I'm saying, oh, I'm making 30,000 and now I'm getting 60,000. Oh, okay. So I'm putting in how much into advertising? I'm putting in about 15. The rest of it is going this into sales, this into my rent. This is my business operational expenses. I'm keeping my overhead down. Like, what you have to understand when you're just getting started, and you probably know this answer. When you're just getting started, you got to keep your overhead down. Like, period. Unless you acquire a business and you know what you're doing. If you don't know and you're just getting started, what is your overhead? What are your business operational expenses compared to what you're going to be generating if you don't know? Or if you know, what's your monthly sales? What's your average monthly revenue? What's your gross profit margins? That's what not enough business owners do. I do this every month or every single every 90 days usually, every quarter. What are my profit margins? What's my gross profit? What's my net profitability? And I'm seeing that. And if you're net profitable about like 20, man. But when you're like 30 to 50% and above, my goodness. And you could break that down on a smaller scale. So it's just at the end of the day, understanding projection. Like right now, you may not know, so you're asking that. But you know that project is going to require add-ons. So what I would do is then request, like, hey, I need 20,000. But I need 20,000. That was kind of weird. I need 20,000, but I want cushion. So I'm going to take, if I can get 30,000, let's do it. And if you can get that amount, because you get approved between 10 to 15% of your annual gross sales, annual gross revenue. So keep the expectations. If you don't have collateral, you're not doing a cash out refinance or a different scenario, 10 to 15%, if not 20, usually 10 to 15% of your annual gross sales on a monthly basis, sometimes up to 75%, sometimes 50 to 150, 75 to 200%. Just depends on the service. Welcome in from Washington, D.C. We're in different. So I have Washington, you have the D.C. part. Oh, 6 years. Yeah, see that? I can see that posing a problem. If there's any way for you to reduce on terms you get paid, and that's all about just the communication and two, understanding your business is set up, how it's set up, because it may take some readjusting. And I see this in a lot of business owners, especially when I'm working like with invoice factoring. And that's where they're getting paid on different terms. So, and then that's also poses an issue when we're talking about them building business credit, like net 30s, net 40s, net 60s, net 90s, etc. Let me scroll up here. Your first loan was 48 or 60. Got it. Oh, first lease. Okay. We were talking about loans. How you hadn't gone through that. You are at 50% deposits. Got it. Balance due on completion. Okay. See, when you get closer to 50, this goes for everything like leasing, equipment finance, etc. But a lot of the times, revenue-based financing, less of a concern if you're securing it with collateral, real estate, equipment, accounts receivables, inventory, etc. If you pay over 50% of the balance, that looks better, because if you're looking to move from one type of repayment schedule to another, like let's say daily to weekly or weekly to monthly, you won't make that jump if you haven't gone there yet. It looks better that you paid off over 50% of the balance, that you pay closer to 80%. Maybe a lender can then come in at 80% or 90%. Usually they like to see 100% of it paid off so they can take the first position, or they can consolidate what you have remaining. But consolidation loans by any means are not inexpensive. Like if you're trying to consolidate, there's a bigger issue. You can't make your payments. You're close maybe to defaulting. You took on too much. Adding more or consolidating and getting you more. Oh man, you don't know how many times I've done these reverse consolidation, all these different things. And then you charge interest at 30 days by state law. Got it. Okay, yeah, that's what you want to do. Exactly. And I wasn't saying that it works the same for everybody. Every customer is different. I know this because I also have pricing models where this happens. Where people get paid on different terms. They take a different product. They do this. They're at a different level. So yeah, I get that. Do you? What part of it do you struggle with most? Like, is there a certain thing you struggle with evaluating? Maybe it's a projecting value. Just understanding how to read your year-to-date financials, your net operating income, your net operating expenses. This is stuff that I do every day. It's just, I don't want to get into the formulas because that's like geeky stuff, but things with EBITDA, earnings on interest, and a whole bunch more. And then calculating debt coverage service ratio, a lot of the stuff that I do. Got it. Appreciate you for being open about that. I have a better understanding now on the terms and what you're doing and what's required by law. But yeah, that's more or less what I'll get to in this. And I'm going to leave it open for a little bit while I'm over here on my computer. You know, this time that I'm here, I was actually supposed to be filling out questionnaire forms. So if I haven't gone back to you, I will. Like, I missed my gap of like today 10 to 11 because I woke up earlier. I hear you. There's nothing wrong with that. You know this. You delegate work to someone else who is better at that skill set than you. I've been there. And I've been in your position where I'm the guy who, hey, he does part of the marketing, but I do the product as well. And I do a few other things. Somebody else may operate the accounting, financial side, along with me probably doing the business operations for some degree or more on the business. But yeah, you have to be the front man, right? You can't always be the person you shouldn't be the person who's doing the finances. You should be able to outsource that to someone. But at the same time, it isn't an excuse. Let's be honest. I get you're busy. You're tired at the end of the day. You had to fill in because you lost an employee. It happens all the time. And what you have to figure out is sustainability. How do you create that long term? What's that vision? Have you even put that on the board yet and said, this is what I got to do. This is my 90-day, this is my quarterly plan. And then you attack that. What's your primary focus? What are your sub-focuses to that primary? There might be more primary focuses. So you put them on the board in columns and rows and you say, this is what I want to finish here. This is my mission. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. How do I get to that outcome? You put the outcomes on top and then you reverse engineer backwards. You say, what are the actions that I need to take every single day? What are those tasks? What do I have to be productive at? Not just busy to get to that. So if I'm prospecting new clients, how am I going about my recruiting process? How am I putting resumes out there? How am I taking away from somebody else? I look at it like this. If you're a business owner, you're a president, you're a CEO, you should be able to delegate as much. And I'm sure you do this. But when you're getting started, and sometimes you want to have complete control over everything. And so if you have complete control over everything, you don't get enough freedom. To have freedom, you have to give up control. And usually control happens when you get to that 50% stage, to be honest. And I've seen that. It's happened to me. I'm like, oh, gotta outsource this to a writer. I don't want to do that. They don't know how to do it the way I do. I'm sure that's how you feel, right? They don't know how to do this the way I do. But until you figure out how your recruiting process works, how you send out resumes, what do you do on LinkedIn? Not LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn. Yeah, that's the way. But I was going to say Indeed first. LinkedIn, Indeed, all these job boards, Craigslist. How do you send it out? Newspaper. How do you digitally advertise? Because that's something that I help a lot of business owners with as well. But how do you find the source where it's going to help create for you more freedom so you can be around your family more? At the end of the day, that's what we want as business owners. Do we want to be working our ASS off? every single day. That's what I did in the beginning with this business. A lot of people fell off because they weren't willing to outwork me or outdo the kind of work that I was able to do from that get-go. And it still can be that way. But I have systems. That's the key word, systems. If you don't have systems in place that are... I haven't even had breakfast yet, have I? Just had that thought. If you don't have systems in place to automate your processes, you will really not go anywhere. Like, you have to create... and I'm not just saying, hey, I just created a Facebook Messenger chat. That's all I need. People will find my Facebook and they'll come to me now. It doesn't work that way. But don't feel down. I know you don't. It's a learning process. You have to sit down like I do, my accountant. I know it already, but I need to hear it from someone else. Hey, Michael, this is what we can allow you to do. This is what would be best. Okay. You have your spouse working with you. She's the one dealing with the books. Sit down with her or him and then have that talk. I'm gonna need to get new equipment. I'm also gonna need these new supplies that are gonna look like getting me up to. But can you please verify what it would cost and what we're doing right now in our business? Are we profitable for the year so far? Well, if we keep our overhead down like this, if we don't keep investing into new products and we don't keep investing into these new customers we shouldn't be investing in, or these new projects, these new contracts, like I speak to business owners, I had to be the unfortunate person to tell them, like, you're generating $700,000 a month and you're telling me you can't be profitable? Like, you were profitable 3 years ago, but in between you weren't, and then another year you're looking like it, year to date? Like, that's a no. Like, you cannot manage your money right. It's not like we're saying you don't know what you're doing exactly, but cash flow is going to be a problem. Look where all your money is going. I saw your bank statements too. I didn't even have to look at your year-to-date financials to understand that more money is coming out than what is coming in. So you're telling me, you're trying to reason with me, but I love it. Like, yeah, you should be doing things like these, but it's not the right time. Sorry, but I think you're wrong. You're not doing it correctly. You're trying to innovate when you should continue to be iterating the same thing over and over. And innovation is part of that. But you're continuing to create a new product. I need a new machine. But what you really need is to work with the same that you have, but understand how to scale that. How do you scale production? I won't answer that, but you should know that answer. How do I scale production? I worked in that field. And so if you're limiting yourself, what is happening is you're limiting your resources. Up here, you're limiting the resources you can have to work with, the supplies, the material. That's part of it, but what's the raw material? How much does it cost to make that material? Okay, so we're probably doing too much with our suppliers. See how I'm thinking? I think like a shark. Have you guys watched the show Shark Tank? That's how I can be questioning you. Why would I want to give you my own money if I were a lender? And if I do start lending? Because you're my family? Or my friend? I've known you for 20 years? Your family is in need of this? Michael, but my family just got a kid. I'm on board with you. I'm more than happy to go visit. I love you, man. My best friend. All the things we were doing when we were hanging out, back in high school, college, good times. But you don't know how to manage your money. So what you should be doing as a business owner, you already know this without being said. Manage your money better. Not you specifically, but what I'm saying to everybody as a whole is manage your money better. Manage your cash flow. Manage your expenses. Manage what is actually helping you create sales. What is the cost of goods sold? How much does it cost to create this product? Am I manufacturing this correctly? So you have to look back in the books. What are my finances? And then that can also have a direct impact on your credit in a lot of cases. So be very careful on what you're taking on in forms of credit cards, the amount of interest. People right now who are dying to get a loan, like literally like dragging their feet on the ground. Michael, please help me. And I wish I could just, like, what was that one show? Like Reading Rainbow or something? I don't know if you guys ever know. Or something like that. Where I just have something like magically appear. But if I could wave a wand be Gandalf or someone similar, someone from Harry Potter, just like, abracadabra. I'm your genie. I bring you 3 wishes. What's your 1 wish? Okay. What's your second wish? Third wish, please. Damn, I ran out of wishes. I really can't give them 3 wishes back. What should I do? So, your wish isn't always my command. So you have to be real about this. Your financials. Fix in it. I'll reverse engineer and I'll probably leave you guys with this. I know I said it'll be done, but I think with you guys being able to contribute, I want to give you guys more. Fridays, I don't normally do this. I want to conserve my energy. Appreciate you. Thank you. And just so I have an idea, because I've seen you, we spoke before, but I want to know, how did you send me an email or from who? Because I want to make sure I verify that. Okay. Is this Tom who I'm speaking with? Actually, no, this is another one. But I like to verify by name, and I remember most people, like personally. Got you. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you for doing that. And then too, I recognize people. Like, I don't, like, you're not a number to me. Literally. I can have, I'm not going to start naming them, but if they were to call me, they're sometimes surprised, like, how do you have my number saved? Even my credit guy, like, come on, man. Seriously, you think I treat you like an insurance company will? I'm looking for money? No. We have a laugh about things. Like, I just shared with, like, a CEO that I'm outsourcing my work to. He knows the type of music I'm into. He's British. And, we started talking about girls and a few other things, the people who are like in a relationship with someone. It was kind of a cool talk and a very adult conversation. Pretty cool stuff. Did you sign in with Matthew or your abbreviated name? And then did you fill out the questionnaire form, or was it that you sent me an email specifically here? Because I have a lot of them. Sometimes I have to look through them, and it's better for me to just type it in on the search feature. Over here. Here you are. Okay. I won't say your last name, so anybody in here is like, oh, this is... But it's right here. And, like I tell everybody, I will get back to you. Here, let me make sure I do this. And I've pushed people to the top recently, so I have to get back to them as well. Let me move this. Yeah, but I do remember this one, and I remember you coming through. Don't think I don't. And you were on my list, but I'm going to move you even higher to the top because you're responsive. So what I do is that I'm going to create this. There you go. Matthew and Tom. Go. And then I will get back to you two gentlemen. If not later today, because it's still early, but hopefully tomorrow, if not in the beginning of next week. But again, like I said, I get a lot of submissions, and so there are quite a few people now that I had to move at the top. I have to do these still right here. See the whole list. But thanks. And I did see your email coming through. You're welcome. You change your needs? Okay. You are welcome. This is me, guys. This is genuine me. You're not seeing two-faced someone. It's hard for me to be on camera, by the way. It's not my thing. Like, I'm not like completely shy, but it's just, you know what I mean. But over here, yeah, I have saved this document, and so I have you addressed. But I see your details. Just so I know this, does your last name starts with an A, right? Or I should say A-N. Got it. So A-N, right? Last name? Anton. I'm not going to say the whole thing. I just want to make sure that I have it. Hey, I will. And you do too. Have a great rest of your day and evening and night. Appreciate you. Thank you for confirming that. And I will talk to you soon, Mr. Anton. I'm not going to say the whole name, but... Or I can say it, right? Antolino. Like it. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yep, I remember that. Let's come up here, though. We're asking, is EIDL back? And I didn't address that really in this video for those of you who are watching or just tuning in. So it isn't, like, it's not going to happen. If anything were to happen, probably a deferment of 3 or so, 6 months. But that's not even in paper. That's not even approved. That's just still up in the air. Senators fighting for it with administration and Congress, everything happening right now. It's just very much like a wildfire. So it isn't coming back. A lot of people need it. They actually need the deferment more than anything. But that's something that you shouldn't just expect. Repayments, if they come as soon as October, if there isn't a deferment, and if there were a deferment, they may expect a small chunk of a payment in October because they need to balance their scale. They need to make sure that they're collecting their money and that they're keeping record of all this in their books and what they're making. But, and there's a lot more to this. I don't want to disclose all that from what I get from the loan officers. Can't always give all that out publicly. But the repayment, October, November, December, it'll move. And so be ready for that. Have a cash system built. SBA, when you're going to go pay through their site. I have a video on that I already put on the YouTube channel in case you guys want to watch it, where I walk you guys in share screen. Is it? Okay. Why was I thinking Italian when I hear the word Anton, when I hear that part, and it's said in a more Italian dialect or tone. That's what I got across. But that's pretty cool. I was once roommates with an Irish man. I was in college and we were playing, we're Division I soccer athletes. Man, was he wild. I had to be a roommate with an Irish man. Great person, great friend. But, one of these a lot of the time. Maybe not anymore, but it's just those times. And keep in mind, when I was in college, like I was more of a late bloomer, call it that. But I have a younger brother, by the way, and so I was going to college and before him and all that, and so that experience, I lived in California for that, was in Bakersfield, and it was fun. So I was learning a lot as well, learning what I should and shouldn't do. But man, was it a good time. Responsible good time. Yeah. I agree with that. It's a good Irish name. It's pretty cool. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, how am I going to pronounce this? And then second, hopefully I don't butcher it. And then 3, I said, it sounds more Italian, but okay, it's Irish. Okay. For a lot of you who are have applied for a personal loan, for example, I usually keep up to date and I will follow up with you. A lot of it will be released back to me from the underwriter today. So I may be getting an influx of follow-ups. So if you're yet to hear back from me, that's the reason. And I usually let you know beforehand. And if I haven't, that's the reason right there. Dude, I love this person right here. His name, I'm going to say it. His name is James. If you're in here watching, you might be watching later on. Love it, man. You keep responding back to my emails. Thank you for being responsive. Shout out to James. This is a real one. This is the guy who, from the beginning, whether he qualifies for something or not, he replies back to my emails that I broadcast. Maybe it's an email sequence. He's the one who's committing to the content. Now, other people who go, send me the documents, you're not going to do anything with it. So what you have to understand is there's a person who pretends to be an action taker, and then there's a person who does take action. Which one are you? I'm not going to regurgitate what I said in the beginning, but you're over here in fear. That's what it is. It's fear of inaction. Fear of what happens if I do this. I'm fearing if I go with this lender, it won't work for me. They're going to spread my information out there. This will be yeah, you don't want that. That's why you speak with me. You speak with a broker who knows direct contact with the lenders. The best, and won't even do any of that. They won't spend time or energy that shouldn't be spent. They will likely not even give me an answer. That's how well I know them. When they know something that's appeared that hey, well, we looked at the reports, or hey, this business owner didn't tell me that. I asked them straight up, have you defaulted? Do you have a past default judgment in place? Have you caused fraudulent activity? No. I had a real estate investor not too long ago. Fraud, me. Full of BS. I didn't even respond back to that person. I just shut up. Just don't reach back out to me when you fix the issue, or you can confess to what you've done. And not every business owner is going to do that. I don't expect you to. I'm sure you feel I can't tell people that. Oh, they won't find out that in the underwriting. We'll find it out. We'll figure it out. You think you're being smart, but you're not. And it's not about me being better. I'm not. I'm like you. I'm a normal day person. I have my businesses I have to run. I'm here. I'm expecting a call later too from a couple of people on their offer. So when you say you're going to do something, do it. Even if it's for a minute. You didn't even have 2 minutes out of your day to just read this over. You're telling me I don't want you to multitask, but you couldn't do that. If it were important for you, you would do it. You don't make excuses for your employees, do you? If you have any. Are you making excuses for yourself and your business? No. Or maybe. Oh, earlier today, if you guys are trying to get into the credit line hybrid program that I have available, that's where you can get 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. That I have a page. I just spoke with my internal team, my coders and so forth. Some of the executives that handle parts of it, that I work part of it. They are on trying to figure out, because they made changes to the sites that they were supposed to do. And so there's a thank you page that once they submit information to, that they go to, that won't always show up, or it will show up, but there may be a server issue when they're filling out more information. So if that's the case, hang in there. Feel free to reach out to me, but we're going to fix it. And it's because we've made website changes, and this just happens. Oh, I don't know how much of this I can say. I don't know if TikTok's watching or something. But my account has been restricted. I posted today for the first time in a week or so. I'm not sure what TikTok is it's just weird. I don't know why they keep saying that I'm being compliant. The videos before, I had to appeal and I got them back. There's nothing wrong with them. No misguided behavior, income claims and all that. I'll make sure I structure it right, and if it isn't, I will try to readjust it. I will do. Just give me a reason to. And it's you're not specific about this. It could be a very it can be a very sensitive platform. It favors people who are shaking their butt. It favors people who are picking their nose. I get engagement is a huge part of it, but would you rather watch somebody shake their butt? I don't care how attractive she or he looks like. I'm not spending my time watching that stuff. I just wasted 30 seconds watching you shake your butt. For what? I'm better than that. not on leisurely time, none of that. It's the truth. I'm at a thinking level, not like everybody else. If I were to go to my high school reunion, like, yeah, there are a lot of successful people, but like the reason I would stand out is not specifically because I say more. They say that the quietest person in the room is usually the most dangerous. And so if that's an attractive point to you, you'll learn more about me. Now, if you find that as kind of weird, cool. It doesn't affect me. So I don't go into this consuming. I go into this producing. And that's what you guys should be doing. And there may be a little bit here flipping back and forth one every other day or 2, 3 sometimes. I'll find something on TikTok that catches my interest, kind of funny, right? We all do that. But it's not like I'm 3 hours in like my mom the other day. Like, are you on TikTok again? She does that sometimes. But I'm not like putting my time into it. It is. That's how I see it. And I'm not saying it isn't that way. That's how I see it. You said exactly what I'm thinking. It's an opportunity for a business platform. That's what it is. Now, for a lot of people, it's more for entertainment and just to entertain people without an like outcome for generating their own business or whatever it is. But yeah, that's what what it favors a lot of. Like you can't get you get real people, but you can't always give up the most information on these. You have to go to YouTube to find that from me. My charger, I'm not sure even where my battery is at. Hasn't even given me a percentage yet. But my content is educational. It can be entertaining sometimes, sometimes my dry sense of humor. But that's part of it. The other part, I would love it if you guys, went through the link or the Instagram or wherever it is, you found my other content, more specifically my blog and YouTube. Because, man, you're going to get a lot. And I don't create sometimes these like 5-minute videos. You're seeing like 20, 30, an hour. I went yesterday, just about an hour. Man, stuff that you cannot just find online. That's not publicly released. And if it is, to some degree. But you guys don't see everything. Welcome in. Yeah, but I'm like looking at other profiles. I'm like, how the heck do they not even have a warning? How have they even been banned yet? And they're saying the F word. And I'm like, what the heck? Like income claims and okay. You like I'm doing something bad and these people don't even get a warning at least? You're telling me there's nothing. And then later on they do an investigation. So what, you're gonna punish me for content that was created a year or 2 ago that actually wasn't bad? What the heck are you doing? Like, how are you gonna do that to someone based off of that? Can you please mention your first name just so I can find it here in my email? And I'm sure I probably already looked at it. I just haven't had time to respond back to it. And I can't always tell because of the username. You are welcome. Just let me know the name because I'm moving people up right now. Okay. I had thought that was it. I saw your username too, by the way. Yep, there it was. I already did look at this. Yeah, I already did look at your I know everything here. So what I will do when I get time, hopefully respond back to you. I'm here now. When I get off of this, I may be responding around 2. I gotta get back to some more work. But I'm gonna get out of the office early today. 3, and I'm my own business owner, so I can decide when I don't want to work. But I outwork and I work hard every single day. And so I will do my best to get back to you. And what I will then do, I will have you here at the top of mine and at the top of my list. That's a unique name too. I haven't heard that before. Am I saying it right? Hervis? Is it Herves? Sorry if I didn't say that correctly. That's a cool name though. I like it. And then most likely what I will end up doing, let me look at this second part. Yeah, no, I got all that. I think I sent, let me see this. What I would prefer, I know that what you're saying about technology, I get that. I empathize with that. But what I would recommend, and it's not like you're going to have to be flipping back and forth, but if I were to send you a link via email, what I usually like to do, and I'll follow up with more, I'll likely send you my questionnaire form, or I'll ask you to input certain fields in that email. And what this does, and I have everybody do this, by the way, because if I took every phone call, let's be honest, there's calls where I should take them in the beginning, and there are others where I can't just take them. And it's not because of my own energy and time, but it's because of punctuality. My systems are not like, you know, those people who like call you every day. I don't want that. I don't even know you, who you are, like what you do personally. I care about those things to a degree. However much you decide you open up, me too, because I'm an introvert. So I know that. But I'll likely send you that questionnaire form with more information. And if you can input those fields, it'll land back in my email where then I can evaluate it, analyze it, and then give you a proper response back. Because while you gave me specific information on the credit bureaus, which I love, thank you for telling me that, and what you said with all three, that's actually very helpful. Usually Experian, a lot of the cases, but that does help me understand your situation. And once you fill that out, my processes are fill it out, evaluate it, analyze it. I'll respond back to you via email, follow up with you via text. I won't usually have to call you. Let's be honest. Like if it requires a call, then it may be. Like you need to explain more specifically. You want to hear my voice? Okay. But a lot of the times we don't need a phone call. Like a lot of people who I help, I'm even talking 7-figure per month, not even per year, 7-figure per month business owners, the way I have my systems built. In, out. Like right now I'm collecting all SBA documentation from quite a few. They sent a lot of it yesterday. A lot of them will be sending it more today, later in the afternoon. We don't even have to get on a phone call. Now, others it requires or it makes sense, but it's a lot of the time you can just explain it to me. And sometimes you don't feel like you want to explain it all, but you don't have to. But at the same time, it makes sense a lot of the cases. So the way I have things built up, it is because of energy and time efficiency. And it is, I believe, to be much better than from the initial phone call. Like I'm gathering all of your information. Maybe I'm submitting it myself into my questionnaire while I'm on the phone with you, or I'm writing it down. And I do this. I write it down like, oh, that's Scott. Hey, Scott. How was your sandwich from the restaurant last night? You guys end up going anywhere after that? So it's like, with me, it's personable. It's never like, God damn, it's that Michael guy. It's that guy again. This is you, when you're working. Yeah, don't do that. And you are welcome. Anybody have any questions? But I like how I can identify too with who I'm speaking to, and I can see the image. Pretty sharp image. So you got your suit and tie on. So for professionalism, everybody, Hervis's picture right here, clear picture. You can see he's got his suit, his tie on, and he means business. That's professionalism. Whether we're speaking about personal or business, he shows up. Now, I'm not one that likes dressing up in suits and all that. Last time I put a suit on, I was at a suite. Now, what was that? About 4 to 5 months ago, I went to California. Oh yeah, that was it. 3 to 4 more about that. To my cousin's wedding, and I had my blue outfit on, the blue, and then I had a black shirt, I believe, on the inside. So I'm not one to always like dress up, to be honest with you, but for the occasion. Every now and then. I think that's a big part where I couldn't stand, I love those roles where like banking and that, but having to dress the part like that every day, like I could do it at home, but I can, look what I got on right now. Oops, sorry about that. Look what I got here. That's right, I got shorts on. These are normally what I wear every day, or every other day, or I have another pair or so. Black shirt, black shorts, black shirt, black, blue, black. Simple. And then there's days where I have my jeans on, I got everything, you know what I mean? But for the most part, look. This is my younger brother's home, by the way. This is not my chair. I don't normally like these kind. I have the other one. There's a different one, more professional. But you can see. If you guys have seen my place, you guys won't know how it looks like. So I'm not hiding anything. See that? Like, hey, there's the bad lender. Careful. You guys can come out now. What a joke. See what I mean? Like, I'm not hiding anything. Yeah, you can come out of the closet now. Hey, look, you finally came out of the closet. No, I'm kidding. But you just have to understand every person is different. Your way of thinking is different than somebody else's. The way that you address issues is different than the other person. So how you interpret something can be solely based on your belief system right now, because you were programmed from birth, from as a child, to think a certain way. We've all been there. I've been there. I didn't grow up rich. Heck, I grew up with my family who was just above or just in the middle class, and then grew a little bit more over time, as you get older, more experience, etc. So I was always taught right, educated, and brought up with the right values, honor, discipline, honesty, faithfulness, but at the same time, I didn't grow up rich. I wasn't given everything. I was not gonna say I wasn't given everything. I wasn't given everything. They can give me as much as I could get. And at the same time, I wasn't given like nothing. So I was kind of like in the middle as we grew up, like millennials do. And, I had my Pokemon. Damn, I love that thing. What do you call it? I just had the name too. But I had the blue one where I could play Pokemon on it. Ran out on the street, had the park right next to me. Had my friends out, was hanging out. Girls. No, I'm kidding. But it's just the way that we were programmed to think. It transfers into our business. And so what do you have to do? You have to sometimes read audiobooks or not read audiobooks. If you want to read an audiobook, yeah. But read books, listen to audiobooks, podcasts. I do that every day. Today I'm going to go on my jog. Guess what I'm going to do? But it's a Friday, so I'll listen to a podcast for about 5 to 10 or so minutes. Boom. Transition. David Goggins or some other motivational. Boom. Transition. Music. Muse. Audio Slave. Boom. Or some other music. On to the next. And I tune out my surroundings. Like, I'm so focused. Like, I know what's happening. My peripherals, and I'll glance up from time to time. But when I'm so focused on what I'm doing, I tune out everything. Like, there could be such a distraction over here. There could be like a parade, or there could be the circus is in town. But I'm like, I see it, but I'm like, I'm here. I'm here. I'm not here. I'm here. And a lot of people don't get that. They don't get how to focus. They don't get how to block out everything around them a lot of the times when you have to. When you have to. I'm not saying you block your mother-in-law who came to visit you from like Seattle or like 5 hours or a different states, and she's giving you your time, her time, and you're supposed to give yourself to her. And instead, you're on your phone flipping it and trying to do other things while it's family time. And you couldn't devote those 30 minutes to an hour because she came from that part of town or wherever she was coming from. So you got to take the time to understand how to be focused. Like today is a Friday. I know it's not going to be as like it's Friday fun, you know? It's like, hey, put a few videos out there. I'm going to do this a little bit later. The other day, I almost dropped to my knees. Like a shockwave came over me. I don't know if you guys ever get this, but I'm so appreciative and grateful and thankful. I'm very spiritual nowadays. Like I'm not religious for a sense. I'm Catholic, but to a degree, I can be more spiritual. And so when I saw, and views don't matter to me, followers. What matters to me is impact. If I get a lot, I want who I'm making impact to. I could be like 2 out of those 3,000 people. That's what I care more about. Hey, am I making an impact to you directly? A lot of people chase followers, likes. I don't know. That's not how this works. But the other day, I posted something on Instagram last night. My mom came to visit. We were hanging around. She was on her phone watching TikTok videos, of course. No. And I couldn't actually, she was trying to turn on the TV to have something work, but I was so busy. I had the laptop out in front of me in the living room. I had to send an email back to a client who's sending me documentation. I couldn't even get back to him 2 days ago. I had to reply back to Facebook comments, etc. But I had views that went up to about 25,000 on Instagram. I was like, what? This really doesn't happen. And so that's something that I was like, very grateful and appreciative of it. And I was ecstatic, but at the same time, I wasn't like jumping out of my seat. Just, it was overwhelming. But at the same time, like I look up and I thought, thank you. Honestly, I almost wanted to cry because I'm like, I work hard at this. And I won't go there. But, working hard at this really shows in your work. And it wasn't, like I said, it's not about the views. It's not about that. It's about the impact. But 25,000 in less than like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however much that was, like, wow. So I found something that I iterated and I worked at it. So that's what you guys have to do in your business. Iterate it. Find something that works. Double down on it. Triple, quadruple. Until it works. Keep squeezing the juice out of that lemon or lemons. Until something else happens, boom, boom, or you're working already on something else, and then you continue to do this, or this happens, or this. So I was just very grateful, appreciated. I lost a few people recently, one of them being my dog, so that's kind of what just for a second brought me a thought. But I won't go into that. And he's my drive. He's a huge reason. He wasn't the first primary why, but as I evolved in my business, and that's where then that gave me an extra push. So find that why in you. Why did you start your business in the beginning? What keeps driving you? Not externally, but inside you. What is it that gets you to wake up in the morning and ask myself, is life worth living or should I? No, okay. No, that's just song. But you have to ask yourself in the morning, why do I wake up? Do you ever ask yourself that? Like, why am I, or at the very least, do you say 3 things you're grateful and thankful for in the morning? No, a lot of us, we forget that. Or we don't have that. We don't think we should be saying thank you. I meditate every morning. I say 3 things that I'm grateful for and thankful for. I don't take things for granted in life. I could be here one day, gone tomorrow. I don't get to wake up in the morning. But as long as I made my difference in my immediate family and you guys as my family that I can leave you with, and I've done my best, I squeezed the lemon, the juice, as much as I could, put it in that albondiga soup, which if you guys don't know what albondigas are, it's a Mexican dish where it's meatballs, not like Subway meat, not like those kind of meatballs that you find at Costco, but it's ground beef usually put together in the balls, and then they're put in soup with different vegetables. Oh my God. My mom makes it good, but the closest ones do, but my grandma, God, jolly. Like when I see her, you guys may know this, but not even a word comes out from me. The only words you'll hear from me are gracias or gracias, ama, thank you. And so from there, it's like I may be sitting in a group with people, but I'm just like consumed in my, like I'm hearing you, but I'm like, when I eat, guys, when I'm eating, like this is how far I've gone. Like call it mental if you want, but this is appreciation. You probably haven't gone to this phase yet. And I get if you've been there, but a lot of things happen. You get into a marriage, you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, something happens, life goes on and you forget about these things, but you have to come back to it. You have to remember why you're doing it because that's going to re-energize you. And so I wake up every morning and I kiss whoever I need to kiss. Good morning. Hope you have a great day. Pray, do a little few things. Thank my dog brother who's no longer with me, but he's the reason why, big reason why I do what I do. And I saw him when he was at his worst. I saw him when I had to feed him through a tube. I had to give him liquids. I had to be there every step of the way. I couldn't do anything different. And then just holding them next to me, saying thank you for the 15 years plus, and I'll see you up there one day with my grandma and my grandpa and our family. I'll see you at the end of the rainbow one day. And it's the truth, and I think about him every day. Like after this, when I go take a break, I'll go to my mom's place, and there's a shrine there, and I go and I sit there. Especially on a Sunday for me. For Sundays are very, they're very, very much dedicated to that, and it's just like we have everything for him and his little suits, and I just remember like if you've never seen somebody like die in front of your arms, this will be eye-opening. And it's a dog, but it's my brother, my dog brother. A peekapoo. Small dog, white dog. Ecstatic, always happy, but after 15 years, I'm not going to get into that subject. There's a lot more I can get into, but said I wouldn't go in depth. Appreciate you. Thank you, Gary. It does mean a lot that you, one, have the courage to comment and that you're appreciated of me. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. And it isn't easy. A lot of people I tell when you comment, for me, it's not about fame. It's not about, like I said, it's not about followers or anything like that. I truly, what I do is what I do. And I want to make an impact. And this is my mission. When I go to, when I rest fully, I can think back to myself and say, I did it right. I did it on my terms. I left nothing left in the tank. Look at Kobe Bryant. I know I'm kind of going on a tangent now, so for those of you who are like, what the heck is he going to talk about EIDL loans? Or, hey, kill it, Joe. This guy hasn't even talked about EIDL loans yet. I spoke about all this in the beginning, so now we're kind of just going on. I have the book, look right here. Oh, I didn't even see that. This literally wasn't what I saw before I said this. So Kobe Bryant, The Mamba Mentality. My younger brother has this one here, the book. I've looked through it, I've gone through it, and he left nothing in the tank his last game. Of course, you're genetically almost like gifted. I'm not genetically gifted, different circumstances perhaps. But the point of it is not always physically. You just get it out. Get the tank out. Did you get the tank out for the week? I left some on the table. Well, what can you do different? You have to be better with your time management. That's what it is. It's your time management. Like you don't have on schedule. Like my schedule today, I have it all. I've done this, yeah, all that. so I can free some time up in the next hour or two. Have some fun. No sun, but so the mentality, have you left something in the tank? And that was sad. I saw like that documentary, what was being reported on him, like the crash and all that. It sickens me to my stomach because I spoke to this with my family and my brother, my mom and them too, that pilot should have never been up in the air. Can you guys agree with me on that? I know this is a controversial topic. I don't want to get into the debate and all that, just at a surface level. No, it should never have been up in the air. But what I was thinking, we will never know this, but was there pressure from Kobe? Was there pressure from the other families that, hey, we got to get there. This is what we have to do. Yeah, it's Kobe. I got to do this. I got to get up in the air. I have no choice. Maybe, maybe not. But again, I'm not going to get into that topic. It's just take the time to really assess everything. Because one day you could be here, the next second. So I'll leave it with that. So I'll do about another minute or two questions, and then I'll get going if anybody has anything. For sure this time. Oh, one last thing. Fill out the questionnaire with the intent that you will hear back from me. And if I respond back to you, it's there. You just probably get a lot of emails, but look for my name, first name Michael. I was gonna quote the Drake song. First name, second name, the greatest. No, that's dumb. But first name Michael, second name Granados, and my email it is Michael MICHAEL at viralfundingsolutions.com. Like I said, you want somebody to work with who's punctual, who has their together. If you feel intimidated by that, don't. It's not gonna be pressuring. I'm a very nice, caring person, but just don't mistake my kindness for weakness. So if you want to deal with somebody who's gonna beat around the bush, gonna send you to the wrong places, most likely, for their benefit, for the company's benefit, scams. There are probably those companies you go with and go say, "Oh yeah, they're the best," and you know that, but you shouldn't do it that way. I'll tell you why. There's a better way to do this. More flexibility, better with early payment discounts, no prepayment penalties, a lot more flexibility in terms of rates. There's just a lot that you guys have to discover if you haven't yet. Okay, appreciate you all for tuning in. If you again got value out of this, greatly appreciate it if you share it with others. It's okay if you don't. It's not like I'm begging you do this. But if you feel somebody else will get the value, that they really need this, hey, John, you got to come listen to this guy, or Sally, you didn't know about business loans, but you will know. Once you're done, you will not have a question in mind. You will know what to do. You're going to get somebody who's going to care about you as a human, and then secondly, your business. Okay? So I know my stuff, and I will help you along the way. If you haven't subscribed, you're watching this perhaps later on YouTube or somewhere else, please do that. Click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I'll be coming out with. Refer to the description down below. Go to the bio if you're here watching somewhere else, on TikTok right now. And comments, questions, concerns, please voice them for me down below. I'd like to hear from you, and all information. You are very welcome. And I want to leave you guys with this. Have a great and amazing afternoon, if it isn't already there. Evening, go have some fun. Enjoy it with your family and friends. Have a great weekend. Rest. Keep your eyes focused, and understand the vision long term you're trying to accomplish in your business. Sometimes you feel like it won't help you because you're doing something more shorter term, but what you just did now, it will transcend for you in the future. You just don't know it, honestly. All right, that's it for me. You guys are welcome. Take care. Bye.